Man, what a way to start the summer, am I right? Sonic Rush Adventure is a game for the Nintendo DS developed in part with Dimps and published by Sega in 2007. This game is probably my favorite out of the Sonic Rush series of games, which consist of maybe 3, and I have played the other 2 games before this one, those being Sonic Rush and Sonic Colors DS. The first one I played was Sonic Colors DS, and I thought it was fine, until I played Sonic Rush, which I found to be a lot more fun, though there were too many bottomless pits and it's way too hard to get a single S rank. To be honest, I was a little worried before I started playing, as I heard that there were a lot of parts that were slow and weren't fun. But then I played it and I really enjoyed playing the game, and now I'm going to talk about it. Yeah, we're just going to cut to the gameplay. So the game plays like this. In the main stages, where you start from a launch point, if you time your button press of right on the D-pad, you can get a head start that launches you further and allows you to reach higher areas at the start. You can run left or right by pressing either the left or right direction on the D-pad. If you gain enough speed, you'll enter high speed mode. You can jump with either A or B, and pressing those while holding down on the D-pad revs up the spin dash, which you can release by letting go of down. You can also hold down on the D-pad to roll. This is great for gaining momentum while going down hills. But there's also the boost, which you can activate by pressing Y or X. This gives you a huge burst of speed and renders you invincible while the boost meter is still full. Plus, if you fill your boost meter high enough, you enter a special boost frenzy mode, I think it's called that, where you can boost as long as you keep the frenzy up by filling your boost meter. If you boost while in this mode, once it ends, the meter drops by 1/3, so you'll have to stay on top of things. The boost pretty much makes up most of the Sonic Rush series of games, which are all about maintaining speed. This can be done through many things, one of these being the trick system. This system allows you to go gain extra points and also launch the player either horizontally or vertically. You can do tricks with B and pull off a finishing trick with A. Pressing the R button while either not holding a direction or holding either left or right launches you horizontally, while doing it while pressing up on the D-pad launches you upwards. You can only perform tricks when you're launched by springs or launch pads or whatever it is that automatically launches you. And at some launch points you can pull off multiple tricks to gain star after star, which then when you pull off the finisher, those stars all go straight to your boost meter for a bonus. With tricks you can manage some insane level skips or insane score bonuses that are really cool. Not to mention it's just really fun pulling off a bunch of tricks in a row and then pull off a finisher to get a bonus. Now this is where I bring up you have 2 characters to play as. Sonic the Hedgehog and Blaze the Cat. I gotta mention abilities. So pressing R outside of tricks allows you to do your character specific ability. Sonic has the homing attack and Blaze has a hover. I just thought I'd mention that. But minus that, though they do have the same play style, their handling is actually pretty different. Sonic handles speed better while Blaze handles skill better. Sonic is faster than Blaze, but he has a shorter reach with his trick launching, I'm just gonna call it that, than Blaze. Plus there are certain areas Sonic can reach and certain areas Blaze can reach. At certain point there are these things you can jump from if you time it right, and depending on the character it will launch you vertically or horizontally. Blaze has fire ability so she can bend any fire hazards to her will, but Sonic can make it through these parts with his boost. Both characters have their strengths and some levels are easier with one character than the other, so depending on what you're going for, be it S ranking stages or if you're trying to get a high score, you can choose either one. Another part of gameplay to note that is completely different from the standard gameplay and has only ever appeared in this game out of, well, the whole Sonic series. A huge chunk of this game is spent out on the ocean searching for islands. This is probably the only game where Sonic actually drives a water ski, or a sailboat, that's not a real sailboat, or a hovercraft, or a submarine. You get each of these in the exact order I mentioned them, and you can make them from the materials you obtain from the other islands, which I should mention. The better the rank, the more materials you get. And later on, after the final boss, you are able to upgrade them, something you will need to do in order to finish the game. But we're not there yet. Each of these control differently. The water ski you control with the DS stylus, that's this thing. You can move it from side to side via the touchscreen. You can boost by double tapping the screen or pressing L or R if you're using the stylus with your left hand. Note that you can only boost if you have at least one mini bar full in the boost meter here. Like in the main game, the boost makes you invincible too and works the same, other than the dropping by 1/3 part. There are also these ramps that when you launch off of them, if you slide the stylus on the screen in the way the game tells you, you'll do a trick and gain 3 bars of boost. Plus, it can be used as an attack on enemies or these water mines. You can also fill your boost with rings. Now when you use the water ski or any of the other watercrafts, you have to draw out your path here on the sea chart. It should be easy to draw the path to where you want to go, as you can draw a path from any main island you have already gotten to, and that the next island you need to go to in the story mode is pointed out. Most of the bonus islands you will have to find yourself, but if you're going through the story, it shouldn't take long. The water ski can't go very far here, but what does go far is the sailboat that looks nothing like a sailboat manages to go very far. It's probably the slowest out of the other watercrafts.
I don't think so.
I mean, look at how long it takes to reach the goal.
Alright!
Okay, maybe while playing these mini stages it doesn't feel slow, but when you pan the camera over to show me the goal, the main gameplay here is that you move automatically and you have a set of 3 weapons to use on the enemies that come flying by. You can switch between them by tapping the buttons at the bottom or using left, up and down, or Y, X, and A. The weapons you have here are the bullets, the cannonballs, and the flamethrower. The bullets are quick and you can use 6 of them before reloading, but they aren't strong, and certain enemies are too strong to be affected. The cannonballs go at an arc and take a bit to reach the target, plus you only have 3 of them and the reload takes a bit. But they are stronger, so it's best to use on certain enemies that can't be affected by the bullets, while alternating to the bullets to get rid of any missiles or cannonballs coming at you. And the flamethrower, you swipe the screen with a stylus to shoot flames across the screen. This is good for getting rings or leaving a trail of flames on the screen for upcoming enemies, but the recharge on the flamethrower takes long and it drains in about a few seconds, so you'll have to use it sparingly. You can use them all interchangeably, specifically when the moment calls for it, so don't go waste the ammo you need. While the sailboat does go far, it can't go through shallow areas or areas with glaciers, so... Then there's the hovercraft. It can go over shallow areas and through areas with glaciers, and it can reach far as well. It's a lot faster than the sailboat, at least for it to get to the finish line when it comes into picture. Like the water ski, you can move the boat with the stylus, but tapping the screen will fire an energy ball, while holding down on the screen powers it up. Swiping the screen in a left to right or right to left motion, or if you press either the L or R buttons, will make the hovercraft spin. This works as an attack on enemies or as a defense mechanism to block attacks. This is probably the quickest one to explain out of all of these game mechanics. Okay, well maybe except for the submarine. While it can't go into shallow areas, it can go under glaciers and is required to get to the last island in the main story, as it can only be accessed from underwater. It also goes the furthest. The main gameplay of it is, well, this is just a rhythm game segment. You tap the things on screen to the rhythm, and there's these things where you tap and slide, and sometimes the direction changes on these enemies. I think it's fun. I mean, I like Rhythm Heaven, so of course I think it's fun. Anyway, when you get the newer watercraft, i.e. going from the water ski to the sailboat, or the sailboat to the hovercraft, or the hovercraft to the... You don't really need to go back to the older watercraft. Well, except for 1 if you decide to use the previous ones for fun. But 2, when you go to do the special stages. I know I said I like this game, but if I'm gonna be honest, the special stages are kind of the weak link here. Not that the gameplay is bad, no, you're basically doing a water ski race with this robot guy named Johnny, yes so. That is his name. And you're trying to beat him to the Chaos Emerald at the end. And it takes planning to manage to beat Johnny in each race. It's the same gameplay, but the way it's beaten is different. And I think that's pretty cool. My issue is... So to explain it simply, in other Sonic games with special stages, you can access them from specific places, and if you are skilled enough, you could get all 7 Chaos Emeralds before the end. There wasn't really a lock on anything requiring you to beat the game first before you can beat all the special stages. So I'm sure you remember when I mentioned you could upgrade the watercrafts. I did mention that, right?
Yes!
You will need to upgrade the water ski in order to finish the game. It's only like 2 upgrades, but you'll have to upgrade the other watercrafts first before you can get to the second upgrade. I really don't like how they handled it. For one, you can't go straight in and get all of the Chaos Emeralds before the end of the game, especially if you're replaying the whole story. But also, if you don't talk to any of the NPCs, specifically Tails, you'll never know you need to, or at least try upgrading your water ski to beat Johnny. Some people might just replay these stages over and over and over and over again, and will just keep getting more frustrated. And it sucks because they introduced these special stages at the start of the game, and if you talk to an NPC, they'll tell you where to find them way before the first ending of the game. I can see that for story reasons, they want you to go for the Chaos Emeralds more after the first ending, since the whole story you're chasing after pirates who have stolen this thing called the Jewel Scepter. Come on. I'm already going into the story, aren't I? I'm just gonna get into it.
Alright!
How's that?
To Davy Jones with you! Ah!
The story is okay, to be honest. I just have to say I liked some parts. One of them... Okay, so just so you know, in the first game, Blaze the Cat just appeared from another dimension because of alternate dimension Eggman, and in this game, Sonic goes to Blaze's dimension because of the Chaos Emeralds, and yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, we already had Blaze come to the main dimension, why not have Sonic explore Blaze's dimension for a bit? I liked Tails' character in this game, it was actually pretty good. I thought Marine the Raccoon was okay. Blaze was cool. Yeah, most of the story is pretty forgettable and boring. The main plot line is that you're searching for these pirates, and you're trying to get back the Jewel Scepter, which I should mention, has the ability to control the earth and reshape it, cause earthquakes. Yeah, we need to get it back. They also try to have a reveal by the end of the game, revealing that the pirates were trying to get the Jewel Scepter for someone else, that being Eggman and alternate dimension Eggman. And the main reason for why they were trying to get it is so that Eggman can finally make his amusement park that he's been trying to make for about like 30 years or something. No, wait, he did make that a while ago. It's not really a reveal. Like, for a bit, I actually thought the reveal was going to be that it was alternate dimension Eggman that was the main pirate, but that's a different guy, so yeah. Yeah, the story isn't anything to write home about, but I really want to bring attention to these cutscenes. They are on par with console in-game cutscenes. This is probably one of the few DS games that I know of that has some fully 3D in-game cutscenes that aren't pre-rendered, or a cutscene I can remake in RPG Maker. And the only other game I know of that has done this is, well, Sonic Rush. Look, I just think they're neat. Like, add voice lines and update the models, and this could be something you could find on your Xbox or PS3 or Wii. And since I mentioned how I like the cutscenes, I should also mention the visuals are pretty good. Let me just put it at that. I like the spectacle in these stages, and the bosses and stuff, it's really cool. I also gotta mention, if you've seen from the gameplay, you can go between the two screens and it's awesome. Also, the best moment is when you're riding on a dolphin and going through rings. That's probably the best moment. Yeah, then there's the music is really catchy. Although I think the first game has the stronger soundtrack. So the first game was composed by Hideki Naganuma, who is most well known for his work on the Jet Set radio series. Here's an example of his work. He does a lot of music sampling for his tracks, and he always manages to make something really catchy. Anyway, here's the music from Sonic Rush to show you what I mean. Yeah, those are really good. Anyway, when it came around to Sonic Rush Adventure, Hideki Naganuma didn't compose for this one, as, well, I don't know what happened. They did try to keep the spirit of the soundtrack going in the sequel, but I feel that spirit thrives in some songs over others. That doesn't mean half to most of the soundtrack sucks. No, it rocks. yeah, I like the music in Sonic Rush Adventure. It's pretty good. Okay, so since I've done it, so I can already tell you 100%ing this game is quite a lot easier done in this game than in Sonic Adventure 2. To sum up what I said in my Sonic Adventure 2 video, while I do like Sonic Adventure 2, when I went for 100%, it was very difficult, and I found that in the end it was just, I didn't like it. It just wasn't very fun at points. Now, Sonic Rush Adventure was a lot more fun to 100%, mainly because there wasn't any missions that required a seemingly optional power-up, nor was there one mission that took too long and eventually made me start seeing things. The gameplay, well, there's a stark difference between the Rush gameplay and Adventure gameplay. One main thing being one has the boost. And it's not like Sonic Rush Adventure is always fun in this regard. There were also those missions that I really struggled with. Some I really hate. Not really on the level of the missions I hated in Sonic Adventure 2. Well, I guess it wasn't a mission. It was getting an S rank on one stage. The Sky Babylon boss fight. So for this boss, the way it works is you gotta jump on these green things to launch yourself up to the top screen in order to get a chance to damage the boss. There's these platforms you can stand on to stay on top in order to keep damaging the boss, and after damaging the boss a couple of times, the platforms begin moving in a different pattern. Now when you stay up top for too long, the boss shoots homing missiles that will follow you until they hit you or you fall back down to the bottom of the screen. Another layer is added onto this when you learn you can use your tricks here, not for points but to maintain your position on the top screen so you can keep damaging the boss. It's not that bad of a boss, but it's not the best one as it takes way too long if you screw up. But certain issues begin to form the moment you try going for the S rank. The main requirement for S ranks in, well, any stage in the Rush series is 10,000 points, with the bonuses generally giving you numbers in the thousands if you perform well. For this boss, you need to get a time bonus and ring bonus that add up to 5,000. That's how much points you need for the bosses. The moment you take any damage, while you do lose your rings, you will definitely be missing 2 or 3 of them, or more if you got hit on the top screen. I think what amplified this more was that I was using Blaze the Cat with her up trick sending her further upwards. That meant I went out of the view of the screen if I did a trick upwards, and I couldn't tell where I even was, meaning I missed the platform and fell back to the bottom screen. Although I could have used the shadow to figure out where I was. I had to change to Sonic in order to finish the boss and get an S rank, as well his tricks don't reach far. His side trick allowed me to keep damaging his weak point over and over again, so yeah. Another part of 100% means completing missions. You don't have to get a rank for them, you just gotta complete a mission. There's mission types like complete with 1 ring, find the medal, replay a stage / get to the goal. Probably the hardest missions being get to the goal within the time limit. These are really difficult and a lot of them I had a hard time beating. It was also the thing where I was playing as Blaze for the ones I had a hard time beating, so I switched to Sonic and beat it almost immediately when I played it as Sonic. Anyway, I'm gonna start off with the question. Was it worth to 100%? No, it was not. I'm not gonna say that I didn't have fun. If you like 100%ing games, then this is probably one of the more fun games to 100%. But the reward is just a new thing to put on your island. It's just visual flair. You don't even need to 100% entirely. You just need to complete all 99 missions and then enter mission 100 to get your reward. Sonic Adventure 2 has a secret stage you get for 100% completion, and while I didn't find it to be that impressive outside of the whoa, it's Green Hill Zone in 3D thing, and I felt pain trying to 100% the game, it at least gave me something cooler than what Sonic Rush Adventure gives you. At least I had a lot of fun 100%ing this game. Like, it's really fun. The reward is definitely not worth it, but it's fun. To tie things up, Sonic Rush Adventure is a fun game with its moments, and it has an okay story and pretty catchy music. I'd recommend it because it's really fun. If you want to play it, it's on the Nintendo DS, and that's it. But anyway, I can't think of a better ending for this video. If you like this video, then please subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next video.